Andrew McCart, iFLTV, delighted to be joined by Mr. Dave Coldwell. Dave, we've just been speaking for the last couple of minutes there. We're both shattered, aren't we? It's been a long
Yeah,
weekend for the two of us.
it's a long weekend. Yeah, definitely. Late nights and not much sleep, but it's been a good weekend. I've enjoyed it.
Definitely. Listen, when we're watching boxing all weekend, we cannot complain. Now, we were both in Birmingham last night to witness Whittaker stop Liam Cameron in the second round. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of it, just talk to me about the fight itself.
Thought he was. I'll be honest with you. I thought Ben Whitaker was brilliant. I thought his whole approach in round one was great. Sharp jab, sharp recoils, little triggers, little feints, stepping around. Got Cameron reaching. A lot. It was patient, but still punching with authority. I liked it. I liked what he did, and then the finish, the counter right hand was beautiful. Really was sharp, so sharp. And then the follow up was he pounced on him. Great, mixed it with the first attack after the right hand went downstairs to the body, got him to the ropes and finished the job. So yeah, great performance. I said on the night, I said when I was doing the comms, brilliant performance. I thought you were outstanding.
Seen online, you know what Twitter's like and whatnot and social media. A lot of people said it was an early stoppage. In your eyes, right decision?
I can see why. I can see why it's an early stoppage because you kind of want. There's a part of us that wants to see conclusion. Fighter falls on his face, gets knocked out. That's it. But um, I was looking at it along the straight along the rope, and he gets walled with the first right hand, and then the follow up barrage as he kind of like gets forced back to the ropes. Liam's left leg just kind of like stiffened out a little bit, straightened out, and I saw that. So in my head, it just his legs have stiffened again, and I just thought he's done. His legs have gone, and then he sagged. So it was just before when he sagged onto the rope, and then took a couple more shots that stopped the fight. So it was just before that, and that's what I saw. Listen, I can only say what I see, and when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm happy with that stoppage. For me, it was because it was round two, and Whittaker is sharp, fresh, not lethargic in his movements or anything. Everything's still on point. He's gonna go again, and Liam's gonna get cleaned out. And so for me, I haven't got a problem with the stoppage. I understand if you're Liam Cameron's fans, or you neutrally just want to see you know blood and guts and spectacular knockouts. I understand. Then you kind of like, oh, could you just let it go a little bit longer for that conclusive ending? I get that. I totally get that. Um, but I suppose do you know what? I'll be honest with you. It depends. If I've got no not emotion, but if I've got no really, if I don't know two fighters at all, I kind of want to see the blood and guts, and I want to see,
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm right, but you don't mind seeing, oh, let's see what they got and take it and but. But I know Liam's story, and I kind of know what he's obviously I know what he's come through, like everybody else has done. And I said to him after I spoke to Liam after, I said, listen, I said I said to him and Pierce's coach, I said, listen, I haven't got a problem with that stoppage because I don't feel with what you've gone through in your career and how you've brought yourself back and how mentally and physically he's brought yourself back from he was in a bad place. I didn't want to see him, and I don't think he deserved to be flat on his back or on his front. And I didn't want to see that. And so that's perhaps my emotion just coming out and speaking it. But I saw his legs stiffen, and I just thought that it's only going one way. He's gonna get stopped. So if Howard hadn't have stopped it, I wouldn't have said, "Oh, I should have stopped it then." But because he stopped it, I'm not going to dig out Howard because I kind of had a feeling, well, I don't mind that stoppage. But that's only my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying it's my opinion. Um, Telling point is, as soon as Liam got stopped, he kind of half smiled and was like, all right. He didn't really. So you know when Tete got stopped in the previous fight with, sorry, I don't know if it's previous, but a couple of fights before with Fraser, he was livid, and he was like, no, no. But he was gone as well. But in his brain, he was all livid and everything and fuming. Whereas Liam didn't really complain, and he was like, okay. And when he walked back to his corner, wasn't a sharp walk. It was a heavy legged walk. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's my opinion, but I do understand why people want to see what it kind of like does remind you of not really, but because it was so early. But you know, like where people kicking off saying it was early, like George Groves and Froch, and so I understand, I do understand, but it's just my opinion.
I saw your opinion as well on Whittaker. Obviously, the raw emotion of what he's been through this last 6 months, getting called a quitter, and that
Mm.
raw emotion came out when the stoppage happened, and he ran right over to Grant Smith, and said something. There was a lot of things online saying he spat, which is cleared up. He
No,
didn't.
I never said this, but
No, no,
yeah,
no, no. But I'm saying there was a lot of stuff online saying
yeah,
he did
yeah.
spat, but he didn't spit. But yeah, just talked about that sort of emotion shown by Whitaker to go over to the opposite corner and do that.
So obviously, people that have watched it on TV saw me and Johnny having a little bit of a to and fro about it. We there's nothing wrong with people having different opinions, and this is where a lot of people or some people kind of get riled up about it. It's either their opinion or not, and you can't they can't accept a different opinion to theirs, or they have to get personal and start digging you out. Or it's just a night. Listen, you say what you see, and you call it how you see it. I might see things in a different way to you, to Johnny, to whatever. It doesn't mean that I'm right. Doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It's my opinion. Not always will I be right. Not always will I see it the same as everybody else. But it's my opinion, so I will call it and say it on my opinion. I'm seeing it. You got to remember, Johnny's seeing it from the fighter's point of view, the emotion of that. I get that. I do understand it. I do understand it because I've had fighters like that before. You've got to remember, I've worked with some real big characters that are very emotional fighters. You know, so I have seen it. I do understand it. But at the same time, in that moment, I'm looking at it from a coach's point of view. I've been there when I've had a fighter get stopped. Trust me, it's awful. It's the worst feeling in the world. It is genuinely awful. And I know, obviously, for the fighter, it's the end of the world. But don't forget, the coaches are going through everything with it, with the fighters throughout, preparing, doing everything right. And if you're when you're going into a fight and you feel like your man's ready to go and he's sharp and he's great and he's looked great in camp and everything's been brilliant, and then it happens so quick, that happens, mate, it's devastating. And so, as a coach, even before they manage to get in the ring to go and see if the man's okay, you've got somebody's head ramming through the ropes to taunt you. That doesn't sit well with me. And so I'm going to call. I'm going to call it as I see it. I thought it was wrong. I didn't agree with it. I thought, yeah, I thought it was classless. And if you don't agree with me, when I'm saying that one action, I'm not saying the celebrating, jumping on the ropes, bouncing around, screaming, whatever. All that great, great. Just the head going through the ropes, taunting the coach like that. For me, I don't agree with it. And if you're disagreeing with me, saying that is classless, then you're saying it's class, it's cool, that's fine, that's great. So then you're saying that amateur kids that are doing it, that are boxing and stuff like that, when they have, there's the rivalries between amateur clubs and things like that all the way through families or whatever, then they'll start doing shit like that. And you're telling me that that's going to sit well with amateur coaches and sit well with fans that as they're going through. This is. I'm not saying everybody's going to be held accountable as a role model, but what I'm saying is sometimes, and it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that one thing, I think you made a mistake. It was wrong. sometimes you have to call out bratish behaviour or, stuff maybe a little bit crosses over line, things that aren't quite right. You have to call them out. Otherwise, you can't then complain when people don't get called out about stuff. It's like when you have a kid and he's a young kid and you let him get away with stuff and you know that they're doing stuff wrong and they're just getting away with getting away. You can't then moan when they become older, teenagers, and then they start doing worse stuff because they've never been called out. I'm not saying Ben's a bad kid at all. I've always said, and also you can look back on interviews and things I spoke about. I love his showbiz side, the flash, everything. As long as he can do that when he's going up levels and everything, that's great. The only thing I've ever said is that at the levels that he was doing it at, if you can do that and taunts and showbiz and everything when he's at the top end, brilliant. I love his ring entrances, all that lot. Boxing needs characters like that. But that doesn't mean that when somebody steps out of line a little bit, or in my opinion, or anybody's opinion, then they should be called out on it. You can't just make excuses because, yeah, they've had a rough time. Liam Cameron's had a rough time. Listen, look at his life, look at his career, and he's had a rough time. Forget about the boxing side of things, but plenty of people do. When you're talking about social media and hate and stuff like that, mate, everybody gets it. It's vile. It's vile. If you don't think I get it, I get it. It's vile. So I understand that not everybody handles things in the best of ways. But if you're going to be divisive in your personality and your character, because I've only met him a couple of times, and away from the cameras, he's a really nice kid. He's a really nice kid. So if he's going to put on the showman side, so pay packet and views goes up, then you've got to know, you've got to be able to handle that. And if you can't handle the social media side, block or don't go on it. And that is the bet. And that's not just for Ben, it's for anybody out there. If you can't handle because unfortunately now people on social media think they can say what they want. It's like Johnny put a post up today, somebody unbelievably racist.
Yeah,
it's just because of an opinion that they don't agree with. People think they can say what they want, do what they want on social media. You don't tell me that whoever it was, that fellow was that posted that, and see Johnny and go and say that to Johnny's face. No, because he's a straight up coward. And the problem is you've got so many people like that feel they can just say what they want and message fighters or message promoters, managers, trainers, whoever it might be, presenters, whatever. You even get it with guys like yourself doing interviews and people slagging off, oh shit, he's doing this, he's blah blah blah. If somebody's doing well, people get more and more vile. But what I'm saying is if you can't handle that, and there's nothing wrong in not being able to handle that, but if you can't handle it, if it does drive you to the depths of despair, get off social media. Don't block. Soon as you see that first line where it block, 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 block. That's what the block button's for. And if you still can't handle it, then get somebody else to, or just post. Don't look at the responses. Post what you want, so you're keeping up your social media profile. Post what you want. Just don't look at the comments. And that's the best way to handle it if you can't really handle it.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Because, like I say, I don't look. I used to read the comments all the time on YouTube, and I don't anymore. Yeah. I've actually stopped that, which is, yeah, I 100% know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not probably as bad as what you and Johnny get, obviously, but I do understand where you're coming from with that. Now, Dave, I got to ask. I saw a clip of Ben Shalom coming up to you and saying, "Why did you kill us on the broadcast?" I just want you to clarify that a little bit for us. What did he mean?
Because of what I said about Ben at the end. You
About
can't say that I killed. You can't say that I killed him on the broadcast of what I'm saying in commentary. I thought I called it as I saw it. I thought Ben was really good. I don't know what to say. I didn't kill Ben on the commentary. I called it as I saw it. I thought it was sharp in the first round. I thought it was really good. Finished him. Job done. But then when he did what he did, then I saw what he did, and I called him out on it. And I think that's what he what he's talking about. But has he at that point had he seen it, heard it at that point, or has he had a message of someone who's saying Coldwell's digging out Whittaker on comms? Oh, Coldwell's doing it. And so he just took that and then decided to jump in on an interview that I'm doing and dig me out a little bit. But he's there's emotions running high. He's full of it, full of it himself. There's been, all the stuff going off afterwards. And then he's probably just felt as though, listen, we can all kick off after a fight. We all do. We in such an high pressure fight, you can either celebrate toward or something, you hear something and it brings you back down and you might be a little bit more aggressive than what you would normally be. But the only thing is I would say, and I've said it to him, at the end of the day, you've got to, if you're going to do the job that you're doing, you've got to be able to handle shit. You've got to. And at the end of the day, I will say this: I'm not saying I'm any good at what I do, but what I'm saying is I will always try and call it as I'm seeing it. And again, you might not see it the same way as me. I might be scoring a fight that you think that I've got completely wrong, but it's how I'm seeing it. I might see things, how I look at fights, how I look at things evolving, that are different to you. And you might think that I'm talking shit, but I'm just saying how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'll do. And it doesn't matter if you're the house fighter or not. I'll do my best to call it as I see it. And unfortunately, we're in a sport where it's a real tough man sport. It really is. But then the minute you disagree or you criticize somebody, then they can't take it. They're very, everybody wants the plaudits and they want to hear the feedback when somebody's saying you're amazing, you're fantastic. But they don't hear it when it's coming back, And I also said this: Ben Whitaker's got the best man in the business for him in terms of his boxing development and his character development, knowing when and how to go and be the showman and to be full of yourself and stuff like that, but also how to be a little bit sometimes maybe okay, just pulling back a little bit. He's got the best man to learn off. And he's all future's great. Yeah, Andy Lee. Yeah. And the future's really, really bright for him. It really is. Just that one moment, I'm not saying him as a person and everything. I'm not digging him out as a person. And when I saw his post-fight press conference, well, I see him upset. I'm like, I'm gutted. I understand because he's not the only one that gets the social media shit.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, and I understand where he's coming from. But also, he's not like a 20, 21-year-old kid. What is he, about 27, something like that?
7, 28, yeah.
27, 20. So he's a man. So he has to take account for his actions. So if he's going to rub people up the wrong way, he's going to get booed. If he's going to rub people up the wrong way, and then when, like what happened last time happened, not give straight answers and people ask, yeah, but what was it? Oh, well, I know what it is. What you're not explaining, then people are going to be like, well, were you just faking it? Were you looking for a way out? Because it's being very divisive and you've got to, if you're going to be like that, you've got to take the boos that come with it. It's like if you don't want to get slated, if you don't, then you keep yourself under the hedge like that, but then you don't get the big bucks, you don't get the viewing figures. What comes with the light and the stardom, and he's got a superstar personality and all that. What comes with that? If you look at them all, everybody, your Mayweathers, your people like that, anybody that's got a mouth, performs, Nas, everybody, they get slated as well. It comes with it. There's nothing you can do about it. It comes with it. You have to deal with it in a way that you understand how you can deal with it. Like I said, if it's a social media aspect, post, don't look at comments. Post, don't look at comments. That's we all like to look at the comments and stuff and look for that. It's kind of awful. It's like ego. You want people to be saying good things about you, but if if you're comfortable in your own skin and you don't give a shit what people are thinking about you, you don't really look at the comments.
Mm, definitely. Yeah, it was a listen. He's in the light heavyweight division, which is stacked with talent. Which is, if he gets to where he thinks well, we think that he can get to, it's going to be exciting times for us to watch Ben Whitaker in this light heavyweight division. But I'll end it on this, Dave. We had a good weekend here of boxing. Are you in London next week? This week, sorry.
I am. I've got tickets. I'm all set to go. And then everybody was telling me last night, apparently Tottenham's a pig to get out of. And I'm like, what? So it's like you got prepared to be waiting a couple of hours to get out. I'm like, no, I've got to be in Walsall the following morning because my little he's got his last game of the season in Walsall. So I'm like, I, I don't know if I can have such a late night. I don't know, but I'm I'm going. I am going, but I've just got to figure out. I might have to do one of them park and ride things where you park up a bit further away and then get a tube or a cabin a bit closer because apparently they close off 2 miles around the
I heard
stadium or
that.
something like
I
that.
think it was. Was it Clifton that told me that? Might have been Clifton that said that to me yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, it was Clifton that told me. Yeah,
Was it? Was it? Oh well, that's he said that to me as well. But anyway, listen. Well, what I'll do is I'll probably message you on Wednesday and see if you want to chat about the fight week because to see
I,
what
I'll
happens.
I'll end up going. I will end up going definitely. I've
You've
paid
got
for
the
the
tickets
tickets.
now. Don't waste money on tickets. Well,
Yeah,
you're probably free anyway, to be honest. Listen, thank you so much for your time, Dave. As always, you know I always appreciate it, and I always love seeing you at shows. And yeah, when you go to Ben Eubank, enjoy it. All right.
thanks. Will do. Yeah.
Thanks, mate. I'll see you in the next
See
one.
you later. Nice one. Cheers.